Hiya, I saw a video going around Facebook last week. It was Will Smith doing a speech on a chat show talking about fear and comfort zones and how the greatest things you can achieve are on the other side of fear. It was all about kind of skydiving and throwing yourself out of a plane, and the moment that you kind of got out of the plane and left your fears behind was bliss. And I kind of see his point, and it's quite inspirational, and it got a load of shares and that kind of thing. But most people's fears, and I know certainly mine, and where my anxiety and fear and panic in some cases comes from, are like smaller things, not jumping out of a plane or doing a bungee jump or running a marathon or anything like that. It's kind of everyday stuff. Like I found out when I went to do my first video about goals the other week, kind of pressing the button to upload was really difficult, and it got me thinking about fear and and getting out of my comfort zone and panic. And at the kind of same time I saw the Will Smith video, I was talking to Andrew from Focus Digital about kind of my video fear and putting those videos out there. When it's a hit zone video, I kind of know the reason why, and I'm doing it for the business. When it was my own kind of personal thoughts and things, I just overthought it massively, and I didn't have the business to fall back on, to hide behind. It was kind of just me. And I was talking to Andrew about that, and at that time I saw Jodie's friend's little boy. He's 8, and he started his own YouTube channel, was just putting content out like every day, a couple of times a day, and no fear at all, asking for likes, asking for people to subscribe, really natural. And here's a little clip of Rossi showing what I mean by being totally fearless.
Picky here, and welcome back to another video. I don't know why I was talking to myself, but subscribe to the channel if you are new, and give it a big thumbs up. And I'm going to be joined by Flo.
Andrew rightly kind of pointed out that children just don't have fear. They don't. There's nothing for them to fear. They're not worried about who's going to say what about their videos or anything like that. And it got me thinking about the everyday fear. And I'll put a little clip up from when I was sat in the dentist car park last week. One of my biggest phobias is injections, and because of that I never drive myself to the dentist, because I'm always really worried that I'll pass out or I'll faint or I'll feel really bad in the car afterwards and not be able to drive safely home. So last week was the first time in my life at 34 years old that I drove myself to and from the dentist, and that was quite a big victory for me, and it showed me that I can work at my fears. And I think fears can become anxiety, they can become panic. I mean, I have suffered and still do suffer from anxiety and panic, and I think it's Mental Health Week in a couple of weeks. And I think one of the things that most people would notice is that I think all of us are racked by a little bit of insecurity and fear and panic and anxiety, some worse than others. I mean, I lived in London a few years ago, and I kind of had the whole of this amazing city at my doorstep, but it being inside my house was my comfort zone, and so I probably didn't see anywhere near as much of London as I should have and could have, because of irrational thoughts and mental health issues, I guess. Anyway, here's the little clip of me in the dentist car park. Don't laugh at the slightly numb face, but I had just had 2 injections. So facing fears, just been to the dentist. I hate injections, and it's just not my favourite thing to do. I've always hated them, but kind of a bit of a challenge for myself today was to take myself to the dentists on my own. Normally I have someone take me in the car because I'm worried about fainting or feeling lightheaded or whatever when I drive back, but having that mindset of I've got to do this myself, despite being 34 and a grown man, it actually helped me, and I kind of knew I just had to do it. And it wasn't pleasant, but I certainly have more confidence to go and kind of take these things on and just have the injections, because the work is good for me that's being done. It was quite a cool little learning process for me, and a little bit of challenge to take me out of my comfort zone, but it's done now. A bit numb, as you might be able to tell from the video. I can't really feel here, but all done and all good. So injections, they terrify me, and it's not the pain, it's nothing to do with the pain. I mean, I've got a ton of tattoos, which are a lot more painful and involve needles to an extent that injections do, but I think the fear for me is about the fact that I know I'm having an injection, and I know the needle is inside me, and even when my mouth is numb and I'm having another injection, I can kind of feel myself going lightheaded and things. So it's totally a psychological thing, nothing to do with physical pain. And trying to apply that thought really helped me when I was at the dentist, and it got me over that barrier. And I think the same goes for for some of the bigger things, like I say, anxiety and panic. I kind of got that under control to a degree now, and I think the reason was I tried to investigate what was actually behind it, what was behind my fear, what was behind my anxiety, what was behind my panic. Talk to people about it. Quite happily admit I go and see somebody a couple of times a month to talk through things, talk through situations in the business, in my life, to try and get a better understanding of them, so I can overcome any fears. Fears for me in the past and sometimes still creep up on me now are confrontation, being assertive, even down to kind of being liked and having to be popular, has afflicted me in the past. And it's kind of trying to find the reasons behind those. And I think if we can look at the reasons behind fear and look at the things that kind of create this comfort zone and what is on the outside of that comfort zone, then it can really help us. And just that little bit of kind of self-reflection, sometimes it's looking back into other parts of your life. Some of the stuff that affects us now is actually from years and years ago as children, our family lives, our school lives, that kind of thing. And so yeah, it's not so much about skydiving and jumping out of a plane, even though that's a fear and I feel like I conquered my injection fear. Still not going to go and jump out of a plane because it scares the life out of me. And actually big up to Legina, one of my friends who's doing that sometime soon. Braver than me with that. And I guess that's the kind of final point I want to make, that much like the goals video that when we talked about it last week or a couple of weeks ago, was kind of one size doesn't fit all. Everybody's got to take their own approach to setting goals and then therefore achieving those goals. Is I think fear and panic and comfort zones, there isn't one size fits all. What I fear, you won't fear. Someone, a big fear might be going and putting themselves, their body through running a marathon or running a half marathon. And that's something that's got to be tackled, and looking at why you have that fear and kind of maybe just taking that step into the unknown and thinking, what happens if I do it? What's the worst that could happen if I run a marathon? Or what's the worst that could happen if I throw myself out of a plane? Or what's the worst that could happen if I go to the dentist and have an injection? Or as I talked about with my anxiety, what is the worst that could happen if someone doesn't like me? Okay, it's not nice not to be liked, but hey, no one's going to be popular with everybody. So yeah, have a think about that, and if you've got any thoughts or comments, just drop them in the comments below, or get in touch, and it'd be great to have a chat. Thank you.